In this lecture, we are going to discuss about the Java tokens, variables, constants, and data types. And while taking this lecture, I considered the prescribed textbook called Introduction to Java Programming by Daniel Lian. And the Java tokens are also called as lexical issues. Suppose if we have a Java program, before compilation, what the compiler will do is, it is dividing the entire program into the smallest individual units, and those units are called as tokens. And in Java programming language, a token could be either white space, or it could be a comment line, or it could be an identifier, keyword, or literals, constants, or operators. We see each and every one in detail now. Suppose if you take a white space could be a single space, or it could be a group of spaces like tab, or it could be a new line. If we declare the variables here we declared three variables a, b, c, and if a equal to 1, there is no space between the a equal to and 1, and b equal to 2. See that after b there is a space, and after equal to also there is a space, and these are called as white spaces. And if you take the first statement is divided into the five tokens. The int is one token. After that, a is one more token, equal to is another token, one is another token, and semicolon is another token. The compiler is dividing that into the number of tokens, and one of the token is white space. Comment lines. The purpose of the comment lines is to give the more description about the code. There are these comment lines are not executed by the compiler. There are different type of comments are there. Single line comments. Single line comments are represented with the two forward slashes. And if there are multiple comment lines are there, it is not possible to give a day for each and every statement in a two forward slashes. In that case, a group of comments or the multi comments are specified with slash star, and you can give the many number of comments followed by the star slash. And in the documentation also we use these type of comment lines: star, slash, forward slash, double star, and some documentation the closing is star slash. These are the comment lines. Comment lines will gives the more readability. So coming to the identifiers, identifiers are the names that are given to the variables or the functions or classes. There are generally identifier consisting of group of characters and followed by the digits and some special symbols. Only the two special symbols are allowed. One is underscore, other one is the dollar sign. And there are certain rules that we need to follow for giving the identifier names. Identifiers should start with the letter, and it can have the digits, and it can have the underscore symbol and dollar symbol, but it should not start with the digit. And one more constraint is the identifiers should not be a reserved word. The reserved words, there are certain keywords in Java language, and those keywords are having some special meaning, and we should not give those keywords or the reserved words names as identifier names. And there are certain data types and certain values are there: true, false, null. These are all keywords. These keywords cannot be given as identifier names. An identifier could be of length, anything. Any length can be given for the identifier. And one more thing is, it should not have the spaces. And these are the keywords. As I told, keywords are the special words that have some meaning for that. And these are the some keywords that are there in the Java language. Abstract, it is having some meaning in Java language. Boolean, The Boolean true or false kind of data type is Boolean. Break, we have seen this statement in C language. Byte, switch case, catch, char, like this. These are all the different keywords, and all these keywords are having some special meaning. We should not use these names as identifiers for giving the variable names variables. The purpose of any program is to take some input and process that input and produce some output. And where do we take that input? Generally, the data will be stored in some variables. The purpose of a variable is to store a single value. Suppose if we want to compute the area of a circle, then we need to have one input called as a radius, and the radius can be taken as one variable. See this is the name of the variable, and we are assigning some value to the variable radius. And after computing, the result is stored in another variable called area. Now to display the output, we are using the system.out.println statement, which is similar to the printf statement in C language. The purpose of the system.out.println is to store the purpose of system.out.println is to display some output onto the console. Here the console is monitor. So the purpose of the variable is to store a value. Now declaring the variables. Suppose if you want to declare a variable to store some numbers, then there are the different data types are there. This is one of the data type is integer. Integer x means x is a variable which is used to store the integer type of values. The declaration looks like this. First we need to specify the data type name followed by the variable name and semicolon. So the purpose of x is to store one single integer value. Similarly, the radius. Generally, the radius is consisting of a decimal number. So decimal numbers are stored in either double or float type of data types. And here, this is the way to declare the double type of variable. If I want to store my initial or male or female either with M or F, and there one character data type is required. This is the way to declare the character type of variable. A is used to a single character. Generally, the characters are specified with the single quotes. Assignment statement. Assignment statement is used to assign a value to a variable. Here x equal to 1 indicates that the value 1 is assigned to the variable x. Similarly, radius 1.0. So 1.0 is a value that you are assigning to the variable called radius. See that here a is a single character. The character value is stored in another variable a. Here, declaring of a variable, after declaring the variable and assigning the value, those are the two steps. So instead of that, we can specify that in a single variable itself, int x equal to 1. That means at the time of the declaration of the variable itself, the value is stored in a variable like this. Similarly, 1.4 is stored in a variable d at the time of the declaration. And the variable, as the name implies, that the value of that variable will be changing throughout the execution of the program. But there are certain cases where the value will not be changed. It will remain same throughout the execution of the program. There are certain constants are there and whose value is fixed. So this is the way to declare the constants. This value is assigned to this constant name, and we need to specify the type of the data. For example, you see the value of the pi value equal to 3.14159. So this is fixed value. There is the value of the pi won't be changed throughout the program. So this is the way to declare the constants. Generally, the constants are names are represented with the capital letters. The final is the keyword which is used to specify the constants. Final data type, the constant name equal to the value. Final int size equal to 3. Here size is constant. At the time of the declaration of the constant itself, assigning the value u. What type of the data you are storing can be specified by using the data type. And while giving the names, we can give the any name, but it would be good if we are giving the appropriate names. For example, if we want to specify the variables or method names, generally if I want to store the radius of a circle, for that we can declare the variable as the radius. Suppose after computing the area, if we want to store the result, it would be more appropriate if we give the value of the variable as area. And there is some naming conventions for variables, and generally the variables are declared with the smaller case letters. See that here radius, area are smaller case letters. Suppose if it consisting of more than one word, the general convention is the variables will always start with the smaller letter, and if the next words will be the first letter of the next word will be starting with the capital letter. Suppose you see this compute area, there are the two words are there, compute and area, but there won't be any space. If you want to specify the spaces, it could be specified with the underscore symbol. So the general convention is the first word will always starts with the small letter followed by the next word capital letter. Make sure that there should not have any spaces. And class names. So in Java language, all the predefined classes are starting with the capital letters. If it consisting of more than one word, the followed by the next in the next word, the first letter is capital. Compute area, since the naming convention for the class will always starts with the capital letter, C is capital, and A is the area, A is the capital letter. And constants, as I told, general convention for specifying the constants is capital letters. So pi is a constant which are represented with the capital letter. Max value. See that it has two words, max and value, but we should not give the space between those two words. It should have the only underscore value, uh, underscore symbol. Coming to the data types. The purpose of the data type is generally where do we use the data type? Whenever we declare any variable in any programming language, the general declaration is data type followed by the name of the variable. The data type specifies two things: what type of the data that is stored in the variable and what are the range of values that can be stored in that variable. That is the purpose of the data type. One is what type of the data is stored in that variable and the range of values that can be stored in the variable. Those are the two things specified by the data type. And coming to the data types in Java language, those are divided into the two categories. One is the primitive data type, the other one is the non-primitive data type. Primitive data types means these are the data types that are supported by the language. The primitive data types again further divided into the two categories. One is Boolean type, another one is the numerical type. Under that numerical type, there are two categories. One is the character values, other one is the integral values. And under the Boolean type, there is a data type called as a Boolean, which is used to store the true or false kind of values. So the Boolean can take only two values. One is true, other one is false. As character data type is used to store a single character. Again, under integral values, there are the two categories which are used to store the whole numbers. Those are called as a integer, and which are used to store the decimal numbers. Those are called as a floating point type. Under the integer category, there are four data types are there. One is byte, other one is short, int, and long. All these types are used to work with the integers. Whereas to store the decimal numbers, we have two data types. One is float, other one is the double. And non-primitive data types, string in Java language, string is implemented in the form of a class. And arrays is also comes under the non-primitive data type. And these are the some of the data types that are available in Java language. As I told, these are all numerical data type up to double, and the Boolean data type and char data type. And the byte, the size is 1 byte, and for short, the size is 2 bytes. Generally, integer, which is of 4 bytes. In C language, the integer is mostly it is 2 bytes. Actually, it is platform specific, but in C language, mostly the integer is 2 bytes. And long is 8 bytes. Float 4 bytes, double is 8 bytes. Boolean is 1 bit, true or false. So true will be represented with 1 and false is represented with 0. And the character data type. Unlike C programming language, which supports the ASCII character system, Java supports the Unicode character system. That is the reason it is size is 2 bytes. And these are the default values for each data type. Boolean, it is false. For character, it is /u, 4 zeros. Byte, it is 0 value. Short, integer, all these are zeros. But you see the long values are represented with the L, 0 followed by L. And the float values, one decimal point is there, 0.0. F represents the float type of values. Double is 0.0D. For numerical values, all are zeros. Depending upon the type of the data, it is having either F, D or L. And Boolean value by default it is false. So this is the way to declare the variable. Byte, since the size is 7 bits, 8 bits, 0 to 7, the range of values that can take with the byte is minus 127 to the plus 127. Similarly, short is of 2 bytes, minus 2 power 31 to 2 power 31 minus 1. It is like 65,536. Similarly, integer. For each of them, there are having the some range. According to the range, we can store the values. These are. And see that float and double both are used to store the decimal values. If we have not specified anything by default, this value will be considered as a double. If we want to make that floating point number as float data type, and it has to be specified with F. And for long values, it has to be specified with L. Character data type is used to store a single character. Single characters are specified with the single quotes. Here, previously, the default value for the char data type is this one. The meaning of this is Java supports the Unicode system, which supports the multiple international languages. This indicates the lowest range in the Unicode system. As I told, the Unicode is the universal standard character encoding system which is used to represent the multiple international languages. Unlike ASCII values are supporting the only the alphabet, that is English language only, and C language supports the only ASCII character system. And this is the one more Unicode system, like Western European language follows the standard and Russians follows the standard. And among all of them, the Unicode is supported by the multiple languages. And this is for Chinese. Operators. Different type of operators are there. The purpose of operators are used to perform the operations among the operands. There are the different type of operators like unary operator, arithmetic operator, shift operator, relational, logical, bitwise operator, ternary operator, and assignment operator. Again, we will be discussing the operators in detail with programs. Temporarily, the unary operators are like pre-increment and post-increment like this. Arithmetic operations are used to perform the arithmetic operations on the numerical values. Shift operations are used to perform the operations that are performed on the individual bits. Relational operators like less than, greater than, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, which is used to establish the relation between the two operands. Bitwise operators, bitwise and or not, exclusive or, are used to perform the operations on the individual bits. Logical operators, logical and logical or ternary operators. These are all the different types of operators available in Java nowadays. And these are all the different data types, especially the numerical data types and the range of values associated with each data type. Suppose if you take the byte, the size of the byte is 8 bits. 8 bit means 0 to 7. So the range of values is minus 2 power 7 to 2 power 7 minus 1. That is minus 128 to plus 127. Short 2 bytes, 16 bit, 0 to 15 minus 2 power 15 to 2 power 15 minus 1. Like this, these are the range of values for each data type. Previously, we have seen one statement, system.out.println. The purpose of the statement is to display the output onto the screen, mostly the console. And there is no specific statement like system.out.println for displaying the output. There is no specific statement to read the data from the keyboard. So for that, what we need to do is we need to import one package called as a util package. Within the package, there is one class called scanner class. We need to create the object for that class, and by using that, there are some methods are there which are used to take the input from the keyboard. So this is the way to uh, use the input from the keyboard. So scanner is a predefined class defined in util package, and we need to create the object for that class. So input is the name of the object, and for that we are passing the keyboard as parameter. System.in represents the keyboard. Now input is the new object created of type scanner. By using the object, we need to use the methods present in the scanner class. So next int is the one method which is available in the scanner class. That method is accessed by using the object. So next int method is used to read an integer value from the keyboard, and that value is stored in the value variable. So similar to that, there are the different type of methods are available to read the different type of values from the keyboard. For example, next byte, which is used to read a value of the type byte. Similarly, short is used to read a value of the type short. All these are methods. Next double method is used to read a double value from the keyboard. Similarly, long value, float value, any type of value can be read in the form of a numerical value. These are all the different methods are available. Uh, these are the operations that can be performed on the numerical values: addition operation, subtraction operation, multiplication, division, and remainder operations. And see that integer division, 5 is an integer value and 2 is an integer value. Generally 5 by 2 we has to give the 2.5, but both are integers. The integer division will yields to the same integer result only. The the value after the fractional part is discarded. If you want to convert that into the any decimal value, then one of them should be a decimal value. See that here 5.0, which is a decimal value, divided by the integer value. Then it will lead into the double 2.5. So integer divided by the integer, the result is integer itself. Here the double value divided by the integer value, the result is a double value. There is one more operator called modulus operator, 5 mod 2, which will gives it the remainder. 5 mod 2 will gives the value 1 as the remainder. And the remainder operator is the mostly it is useful. One of the main important application of the remainder operator is, suppose if we are given a number, if that given number is the even number or odd number. Suppose if you want to display that, then we need to use the remainder operator. If a given number is divisible by 2 and if the remainder is 0, then we can say that it is an even number, otherwise it is an odd number. Suppose there is one more example. For example, today is Saturday and that is the sixth day of the week. Sunday starts with 1, 2, 3, 4 like that. Suppose this is the sixth day, Saturday is the sixth day. After 10 days, which day is that day? For example, there are some people are there who are friends. They met on Saturday. Again, they would like to meet after 10 days. So which day they are going to meet, that can be specified. See this is the sixth day. After 10 days means 10 plus 6, 16. Modulus 7, there are 7 days in a week. And the result is 2. Indicates that second day is represented as Tuesday. Here the emphasis is the mod operator. There are since 7 days are there, we are performing the modulus operation with the 7. Calculations involving the floating point numbers are approximated, but they are not stored with the complete accuracy. For example, look at this. So we are performing the subtraction operation. 1.0, this is one double type of value. 0.1 is one more double type of value. If we are performing the subtraction operation between the two double type of values, actually the result we need to get at 0.5, but the double values are not that much stored with the complete accuracy. See this one. So generally the result is 0.5, but if we display the output, it looks like this 0.500001. Okay. Similarly, 1.0 minus 0.9, actually it is 0.1, but it will be displaying as it is not 0.1, 0.09999 like this. So once we are performing the calculations with the floating point numbers, it is not as accurate as the performing the results with the integer values. Another one is the exponential operation. See this, and there is one method called as a POW, power method, which is available in the math class. Power of 2 comma 3 will gives the result 2 power 3, which is 8, and power of 4 comma 0.5. 0.5 means it is the square root. So square root of 4 is 2. And if you observe that we are not getting the integer values, instead we are getting the decimal numbers. That means the power function, the return type is the double value. 2.5 power 2, that means square, 6.25. Similarly, 2.5 power minus 2, it is 0.16. These are the exponential operations by using the POW function available in the math class. And coming to the literals, generally the constants are represented with the literals. Literal is a constant whose value appears directly in the program. So these are the constants. 34 is one constant. This is one more constant. 5.0 is, this is one more constant. The literals are all constants. At the time of the declaration itself, the values are assigned. These are the way to declare the literals. Integer literals, generally, whenever we are declaring a variable, The values should be given in such a way that the value should be fit into the range of those values. For example, if you want to store the value 1000 into the byte variable b, so the range of the byte is 1 byte. That means its value is minus 128 to plus 127. But the 1000 is beyond its range. In that case, if you are storing these type of values beyond its range, then it will be giving you the compilation errors. Integer literal is assumed to be of the int type whose values are in this range within the range. Similarly, if you want to store any type of long values or double type of values, those values have to be suffixed with L, small letter or capital letters. Floating point literals. As I told previously, by default it is a double type of value. If we have not specified, it will be considered as a double type of value like this with smaller d or capital D. And if you want to specify that with the floating point value, then the suffix has to be given with that decimal number is either with small f or capital F. Though the float values and double values are used to work with the floating point numbers, there is a slight variation between these two. When do we go for the double data type is if you want to have more accuracy in the results. For example, some scientific computations like weather forecasting on, there much accuracy is required. In that case, we'll be using the double type when compared with the float type. For example, see this one 1 by 3. Here by default 1 is a double value and 3 is also a double value. The result will also be a double value. See that the result is this one. So after decimal point there will be 16 digits. This is called as a double point precision. Suppose if these are considered as a float values. Observe this, it is suffixed with f. Then the result is this one. After decimal point there are 7 digits. So this is the more accuracy when compared with the float data. The scientific notation that is called as a exponentiation. See that if you have some scientific computations, the numbers are represented like this 1.23456 e plus 2. This is exponential 2, which can also be written like this, which is equal to 123.456. E power 2 means it is the 10 to the power of 2. So 1.23456 into 10 to the power of 2 means it is 123.456. It is e power minus 2, which is equivalent to divided by 100. So 0.123456. But exponential values are represented with either capital E or small e. Suppose if you want to compute some mathematical equation or a mathematical expression like this, in general in the programming language, according to the syntax of the programming language, we have to write like this 3 plus 4 into x. After computing the numerical part, then perform the division denominator minus 10. This will be specified with asterisk symbol. Y minus 5. This is multiplication operation star like this a plus b plus c. The entire number, the result is divided by the x. So these kinds of expressions are translated into the programming language like this. Now coming to the evaluation of the expressions, there is some operator precedence are there. According to the operator precedence, the expression will be evaluated. For example, you see this one. The priority will be given to the parenthesis. First, the values, the expressions within the parenthesis is evaluated. After that, according to the operator precedence, um, multiplication operation, division operation, and mod operation are having the equal priority. While scanning from left to right, among these operators, whichever comes first that operation will be performed. And multiplication, division, and modulus are having the same priority. After that, the next priority is addition and subtraction. So, though the plus operator has come first in the expression, first after parenthesis, the next one is the multiplication operation. There are two multiplication operations are there, but from left to right, the first one appeared here. Next, the operation performed is this one. So the result is 7 here. Here the result is 16. After that, next highest precedence is this one. This operation is performed. And plus and minus are having the same priority, but from left to right, this operation has occurred first. That is the reason you need to perform this operation. This is the way to evaluate the expressions based upon the operator precedence. This is called as augmented assignment operators. Plus equal to is called as addition assignment. Minus equal to subtraction assignment. Asterisk equal to multiplication assignment. Like this, this is called as augmented assignment operators. I plus equal to 8 indicates it is same as I equal to I plus 8. I minus I equal to 8. I equal to I minus 8. This kinds of representation is called as a shorthand notation of assignment operators. Similarly, increment and decrement operators, these are called as a unary operators, and pre-increment, post-increment, pre-decrement, and post-decrement. See this plus plus followed by the variable. That means first we are performing the increment operation first, and then the value is assigned. For example, see this one. Int j equal to plus plus I. Here, the value of I is incremented first. After that, the result is assigned to the value of j. Initially, assume that the value of I equal to 1. So plus plus I indicates the value of I is incremented by 1, that is 2. After incrementing, the value is assigned to the j. So in the both cases, I value has become 2. After that, that 2 value is assigned to the j. This is called as a pre-increment. Coming to the post-increment. In this case, first the value of I is assigned to the j first. After that, the value of I is incremented. So here, since the value of I equal to 1, first the value 1 is assigned to the j first. After that, the I value is incremented. So the output is I equal to 2 and j equal to 1. Now see this one. Minus minus I. This is called as a pre-decrement. In the pre-decrement, first the value of I is decremented by 1. So since the initial value of I equal to 1, the value after decrement is 0. That result is assigned to the j. In the pre-decrement, operation is performed first and then assignment. And in the post-decrement, this is post-decrement. First, the value is assigned first. After that, operation is performed. So in this case, j becomes 1 and then I becomes 0. So the previous statement looks like this. So 10, I value equal to 10, 10 into I plus plus. First, what will happen here is, first the value of 10 is multiplied with I, and then I is incremented. So this statement is same as this one. But coming to this one, this is the pre-increment. First the I value is incremented by 1. After that the operation is performed here. This is increment and decrement operators. Again, we'll be looking about all these operators in detail with programs in the further classes. And this type of expressions are not allowed. It will be giving the ambiguity. See this one plus plus I, which operation need to be performed. Avoid these kinds of expressions while writing the programs.